Good Thursday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel. Morning conversations. Look at the geese over there. How about that there, huh? Look at that. Isn't that just a beautiful pond? That is just one of the nicest ponds. In the winter months, once the summer hits, those lily pads pop up. It just ain't so pretty, but this time of year, it's great. Look, a lot of geese over there too. Look at that. Yeah. Anyways, so Thursday morning. Wow, first time I watched my channel. I mean, just to me, it's just unbelievable how time goes by so quickly. So, anyways, we have here in the driveway this morning. Now, yesterday morning there was a blue 4Runner. This morning there is a 2023. This is a 2023, freshly used Grand Cherokee Summit package L edition. And reserve with the V8 motor. And wow, wife really, the wife really does like this car. I mean, this is a car that really is a keeper. For the wife, I gotta be careful because when I do get her car, she usually gets a good 2-3 year run out of it. Does she maybe get 4 or 5 years out of that? You never know with me. But yeah, that's a car there that will definitely be around for quite a while. And what's pretty neat too is I used to always do double up. So years ago, I always kind of did the 2 up. Like we had 2 Grand Cherokees, or we had 2 4Runners, just because she drives like 100 miles a day to work. But that's all changed because of the technology. How much technology is in that car? The technology in that car is it's overwhelming. Because look here, I guess this is the night vision camera right there? Probably is. That's your camera for your adaptive. That's probably right, night vision. Last night it was raining. That was kind of, I think, covered up a little bit. So that's maybe why that doesn't work properly. Yeah, so the technology in this car, it's just airbag, suspension. So this car goes up and down, for your different rock crawling or traversing the water, or you put it down low to get in and out of it for whatever reason. The safety features, a heads up display on it, massaging seats, heated steering wheel, heated seats, the panorama roof, the ambient lighting around it. I mean, just so many nice features of this vehicle. It's just incredible. And wow, so just incredible how I pulled that off. That just was not on my radar screen. Technology. Yeah, the technology today, my wife doesn't drive to work every day of her life anymore. So she's able to remote from our home here, and she goes in like an average of 2 days a week, sometimes 3 days a week. So the reason I'm bringing that up is I'd be more focused on years ago of having double cars for her because she racks up so many miles. But that's all changed. So that car there, it won't accumulate, major miles in 1 year. So that's a good, which once again, it's less expenses to maintain a lot of cars. Right? Yeah, so technology. That is the theme of the day. I thought to myself last night, after I drove that car, how much technology's in it. I just thought, wow, why don't we have the conversation today of the technology. The technology in these cars is just incredible how far we've come. And look at the Maverick. I pulled the Maverick out last night to be able to kind of go over the Jeep, check the tire pressures on it, just kind of do an overall, get the little things set up in it, the fast pass, easy pass, it's all ready to go. All the home links programmed, all the front gate. The wife can get in this car because she has to go to work this morning, and she can just get out of here, and hopefully the car's already all set up. Come on back, Ginger, Scout, let's go. Come on, get in here, come on. Let's start this. So yeah, the garage is kind of empty here this morning because the Maverick's out there, but I got the wrong hat on. I gotta get the right hat here. I can't believe that I didn't wear my Jeep hat. You know what I mean? So right here, so I get my Jeep hat. I look a lot more, appropriate this morning. Yeah, wow. The adventures. Maybe if you really follow my channel, it's just beyond believable the adventures that I get myself into. the craziness that I create for myself. Got to get in the office here and get my day going and talk about technology. I just thought that would be, probably had a theme on that before on my channel, but I thought this morning, yeah, so come up here, Bubs. Get up here. Come on. Go. Move. Get the heater going. Get the gang going. Got my official employees here, the dogs. Have I gone to the dogs? Probably. And look, he's ready. Look at that. Boy, tentative, right? Just ready to go. Wow. Just there. Yeah. So anyways, if you're following my channel, even for me, that's the same old story. I would have told you. You know, this was not, the Jeep Grand Cherokee was never in the game plan. You know, what was in the game plan is a Ford Expedition 2023 that's coming in probably next week. And that was, you know, probably the next adventure. Let me put my phone down here so I can get other things going as I'm talking. And so look at the ceiling. So yeah, so in all sincereness, I really thought the next car adventure, me on my YouTube channel, was going to be a Ford Expedition. And 2023, that ordered last fall. So that's what I thought you'd probably be seeing. You know, hey, you know, what am I up to today, right? So right now I'm trying to log in to track my order on that Ford Expedition right now. I'm going to my, you know, Ford has a capability for you to track your vehicle. And I don't think anything's changed, but I just, for the heck of it, we're talking about this morning, that I would go ahead and look at that. So final production and shipped. So it shipped on the 22nd. So estimated delivery is actually between the 27th of January and the 9th of February. So that's right now. If anybody here wanted to kind of see what I'm talking about here, because if you follow my channel, it's always a car adventure. There it is. So here's the thing. That would be my third Expedition. Am I overly excited about that car? I'm not. I really am not. For the dealer, thinking, you know what? I'll put an order for these guys. It gets them a vehicle order. When it comes in, do I take it? It's debatable if I take it or not. I don't know. You just have to see it in person. I can change a lot of things when you see things in person. But for the moment, that Jeep Grand Cherokee to me is so much more exciting. I just think that is the vehicle, and especially for the wife, I think it's such a much more, it's a better balanced vehicle for my wife. Let me get my volume down here, get the news going. You know, yesterday when I went to the what I did yesterday morning is, as anybody following my channel saw the video of me being at the Oarsman Dodge Jeep Ram in Woodbridge, Virginia, where I test drove that Wagoneer. And the Jeep Wagoneer, I drove the new inline 6 Hurricane motor. And when I was at the dealership, I saw a nice used 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit L series. And so we put a whole deal together, and just the financing was too high. So the interest rate was way too high. They wanted a ton of money down. And so that's why that deal didn't pan out. So that's why I walked away from that deal. And for me, it's like there's no emergency. So I'm like, you know, it's new. I just kind of started looking down this path. So when I got back in that evening, I did my search of, you know, the local Grand Cherokee Summit L vehicles, and there's just not a lot out there, especially used. I mean, for the most part, there's not much of any used out there. Very, very, very limited, without having to go way out of the realm of where I live. So I noticed that my local Dulles Dodge dealer here in Leesburg, Virginia, I noticed they had a 2023, but, you know, pricey, kind of a little pricey. So the owner's son-in-law, who now manages that, I texted him yesterday morning, and I told him what's going on. He's a great guy. He's just a really good guy, and that dealership knows me because I've been buying cars for the last 10 years there, and So I reached out to him, and he was like, "Don't buy that car down there. Just come by and give us a shot." And I was like, "Yeah, but your car, your car is so much more expensive. I got to get my coffee over here. Get a little sip here when you're not looking here. Go get the cough going, right?" So, anyways, the he was just like, just come on up here and check my car. I'm like, "Yeah, but it's pricey, and it's more car than I really want. Really, it's got the V8 motor. It's so." Anyways, I went to the dealership yesterday, and I drove the car. You saw a review, and even I admit that really, my wife, she doesn't need that V8 motor. She'll be happy with the V6. She doesn't need the tow package. She doesn't need the reserve edition. Doesn't need all the stuff. So I stayed there. We kind of went back and forth. And I told him, I said, "Here's your challenge. You're not going to get this deal done. You don't have the right finance people at the dealership to get the deal done." Because that's been my experience at dealership over the last few years, is they just don't have the right person in finance to be able to present who I am and how to get the deals done. So yesterday, I literally was like, "You know what? I think I'm just going to go to Woodbridge, and I'm going to just try to close this deal and just show them I got a check. This is what I'm paying, and put it to bed." And they're like, "Yeah, well, just give us a shot." The guy, the Han, the general sales manager, nice man. He was like, "Can you just give us a shot?" I'm like, I can't see it. Who's your finance person? How long have they been here? Blah blah blah. And he's like, "Yeah, he's been here about a year." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just I can't see it." So I know we talking about technology, but I got to share with you how this all played out yesterday. So as I'm getting ready to I said, "Okay, you know what? I'll give you my application." But there's already been a lot of inquiries. You're just going down the same path. But here's the thing. I will give you an opportunity, but I'm going to start driving to Woodbridge. And if you hear anything, just call me before I settle down there. You're like, "Okay, okay." So as I'm filling my application, this young man comes out and he sits down in front of me, and his name is Jake. And he's a big guy. This is a guy that, football player guy, real athletic type of guy. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and I'm like, I know this guy. Like, where do I know this young guy? He's a young guy. And he's like, he starts rattling off. He met me at Leesburg Toyota, Auto Nation Toyota here in Leesburg, Virginia, like in 2018. That's what he claims. And he starts rattling off all the cars that I have and where I live and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, this guy's memory is phenomenal. And he was in car sales at that time. And then I said, "Yeah, I remember you." And we talked, and I said, "Hey, yeah, you came up here from Florida. Your girlfriend's going to college up here. So and your dad's like in the car business. He manages some big car dealer. So we hit it off. But this guy is like a piranha. I mean, instantly, I'm like, this is the guy. I mean, all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? This deal is probably going to go down. This deal could probably go. This is the type of guy that has that energy, and just that he ain't going to let go till it gets done. And so, excuse me. So, anyways, that it wasn't for Jake at Leesburg Dulles Motor Cars, Leesburg Dodge, I don't think the deal got done. So this guy Jake, I'm going to tell you what, he's a great guy, and he's a young guy, and he's no doubt in my mind where this guy is going in his life. He's going to rise above, and he's a leader. He's a motivator, he's an incredibly hardworking guy, and there's just no doubt in my mind this guy's going to just be incredibly successful as he continues his path in his ventures of business in his life. So, wow, for Jake out there, if you're even watching this video, oh my gosh, you're the man. There's no doubt in my mind now. If I want to go to that dealership down the road, get something else, I already told him, you can't leave anytime soon. You can't be running out of here yet. So I know you're going to get to a level that you're going to want something bigger and better and move on, but don't do it anytime soon. He's like, "No, I'm not going to go anywhere." I'm like, okay, that's great. So anyways, big thanks to Jake and the Leesburg Motor Car guys and all went out of their way to the manager of the dealership, Bobby. He's just a great guy and went out of his way to try to make things work. So now the wife's happy wife, happy life. All right. So anyways, there's that story, right? How do you like the view? How do you like the view with me being way back here? So can I drink my coffee way back here like this instead of your face? With my Buc-ee's Where is it over here? My Bucky's mug that they sell at Bucky's on the gas station on Route 95. So anyway, so I found myself this morning, the technology of these cars today, it's just incredible. It's incredible where we are today with just, it's just beyond believable. And to me, the technology, it's like the double-edged sword. It's the love-hate. It's what technology is doing to us. I mean, in so many ways, technology's done so many great things, but at the same time, it's doing so many devious things. But on the car side, really interesting article I read on Bloomberg. I'm not a Bloomberg subscriber, but I like to read different organizations' media content because they all present things a little differently. So you kind of get a little more of a roundabout view of the perspective on how things are told and said. It's all how you phrase it and you say it and how people tend to kind of understand it. And to persuade people to want to listen to you, you have to say things a certain way. Persuade people not to listen to you, you have to say it the way that they won't like you. So, whole article on China. China right now is getting ready to surpass Toyota in worldwide exports. So apparently China last year, 2022, exported it was either 2.2 or 2.5 million vehicles. So it's kind of the silent. You realize or not, even for myself, I didn't even realize that Geely, Geely, automotive group, China owned, Chery, Chery. Chery is the Gator, the John Deere Gator that I bought. You see sitting in my garage all the time down there. That has a Chery motor in it, Chery. I thought it was said Chevy or something. So that's China. Then you have BYD, automotive group that Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway has major investment in. So the Chinese are overtaking the major automotive manufacturers of the world, and they're accomplishing this through the technology. The technology is created them to be incredibly more successful and build really much better vehicles than they could years ago because of all technology. Apparently, China automotive factories are the biggest robot manufacturing, auto manufacturing in the world. China dominates robots in their factories to build vehicles. And China actually is building a lot of, really efficient, emissions vehicles. And then they're building tons of EV vehicles. And they claim that the China car is an average of 30% cheaper than the competition. And their market is Latin America and Asia and parts of Europe and the Middle East. So they're they're growing at leaps and bounds where they've already surpassed South Korea, they've passed Germany, and now they're knocking on Toyota's doorstep to outproduce them. Wow. China, man, it's just incredible how China, I just think to myself how this social media machine and the media machine in general, this country, has totally twisted the focus of us being divided, while China overseas is just making strides by leaps and bounds of the world takeover of manufacturing. I mean, it isn't like this is something really new, being that we started giving China all of our business 20 plus years ago, but at the same time, China is just incredibly growing by leaps and bounds and just surpassing all the other world bodies. And it's all because of the technology, advanced technology. In fact, Tesla, as we know, Elon Musk is over there with Tesla. He's one of the first, I would say, EV manufacturers, I guess. I don't know. You'd see GM is over there with China building the Buick vehicle. So you buy a Buick, one of the Buick vehicles, I don't really not a Buick person, but the small SUV, if you buy that vehicle, it's a China-built car. But what are we not buying? Like John Deere. John Deere got in with China so many years ago. That was a running joke years ago that When you go buy a John Deere now, it's just a China Deere, because it's not American deer. Hey, deer, get it? It's a China Deere. And yeah, that navigation, or I should say that night vision, that's one of those things I really like about that night vision on a car, is you'll see animals. Like last night when I drove my Jeep Grand Cherokee over from my garage to the house, and my dogs were in front of the car. It like capsulated it like in a picture frame. So all of a sudden I had like 3 little picture frames of the animals exactly where they were in the driveway. Really cool. I really want to, when it's not raining out and it's not foggy out and that front lens is clear, I really think that is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be, I kind of wish this morning I would go over there and clean that off with some glass cleaner. I think tonight when the wife comes home, that's going to be really cool. Yeah, she may not be driving. She may get home before it's dark. But anyways, so the technology sector and automotive industry, as we all know, it's just incredible that more than ever today, when you get in a vehicle, you see when I go drive these cars, even for me, I'm just kind of like stumped of what button do you push or what do you do. But what's really cool about that Grand Cherokee, I've talked about it numerous times, that's the e-brake. And I went into the settings of the vehicle and I set up the automatic e-brake. The former person didn't even know to do that. They didn't have that little button pushed on the screen to activate automatically when you put the car in park, the e-brake comes on. And if you have your seatbelt on, when you put the car in drive, the e-brake comes off. If you don't have your seatbelt on, you have to manually override the e-brake. Why doesn't every manufacturer have that feature? It's an electronic brake that talks to the computer. Does this make any sense? Ford. Hello, Ford. Why aren't you guys making an e-brake that activates itself when you put the car in park? I have mostly Ford products of the newer age. And even that Ford Mach-E GT, it doesn't have that electronic automated brake. I could be wrong. So you watch my channel and say you're just not going the right field. You never turned on yourself. You bozo. I guess it's possible. I don't know. But anyways, so when you look at the technology aspect of the automotive world, even the motorcycle world, like my Indian Challenger that I have the Elite Series that's down in Tennessee that I've barely even ridden, that I bought last June, that has that lean technology in it. It has like that magnetic, whatever. It's the weirdest thing in the world. You ride that Indian motorcycle. I go down the road and I put a hard lean into it. You can feel the bike has like this magnetic field of controlling how you lean that motorcycle to not let you lean it too far. It's the weirdest thing in the world. I mean, it's really cool. It's a confidence builder as you go around corners, knowing the bike's really in tune with your lean angle and not letting you get it too, down too far where you could lose control. But it's just, wow. Oh my goodness, I gotta get more coffee. So the barrel oil hovering now a little bit over $80 a barrel. Stock market's in that 33, 34. And here's another thing about technology. All these tech companies are laying people off. What is that all about? I mean, one company after another is laying people off. But then on the other hand, you hear how many companies are looking for tech employees. I mean, it's so confusing right now. If you try right now to really try to grasp what's going on in our country and to try to really grab hold of the economic conditions, even for me, I would have told you last year that by this year, a year later, so a year ago at this time, I would have sincerely told you market's going to be in disarray, the housing market's going to be in a shambles, the car market's going to be in shambles. For the moment, it's not radical. And for anybody out there that knows more information than I do, I'm just not seeing. Yesterday, I was at that car dealership. They did like 5 deals. And it was a rainy day. And they actually did more than that because they had deals they were doing through the internet. So not even only in person. So yesterday, that dealership could have been a 7 to 10 deal day. So when I go to these car dealerships and motorcycle dealerships, I'm not seeing no activity. I'm seeing that people are still out buying things, and banks are still lending people money. But then you read the mortgage industry is in refinance side. They're getting hit pretty good, or a lot of the banks are they're raising their hands saying the refinance, the mortgage applications, those things are, it's not great. But there's talk in the market that they think this spring things are going to kind of start happening again because they feel like the Fed's not going to get too much more aggressive on the Fed rate. And even they're going to maybe be creative on how they can do the buy down rate and everything else. So the banks, they're not preaching like radical, terrible times ahead of us. It just is, once again, the technology today, what we have our access for so much information. It's like it's over information. I mean, I'm sure anybody here that you surf the web and you go to, try to figure things out and you try to grasp what's factual and not factual. I mean, just then you go to the state of New York. The governor now is highlighting they just revitalized some police building and that the defund the police is no longer the agenda. But yet 3,900 police officers, left. They didn't retire. They left for better paying jobs and better conditions. Apparently, Florida has picked up a lot of police. Florida, man, there's a fine line there, too. I'm no fool to the governing bodies. I mean, we need, enforcement. We need law and everything else. But then at the same time, you don't want like over policing, over governing, so there's a fine line there. I get all that. I mean, I understand there's people that love the police and respect the police, and there's a lot of people that have nothing to do with that. That reminds me, last night I saw this video of the Arkansas State Patrol chasing a guy in a Hellcat. Oh my gosh. It was an 8-minute video, and it's just incredible, these Hellcats. And I own them. So I know how this plays out and the speeds. So a state trooper comes up on a guy in a Hellcat, and he's doing 84 miles an hour. I have no idea what the posted speed limit was. And he just follows this guy in the left-hand lane while the Hellcat guy, Challenger's in the right-hand lane. And he just follows him for miles. And the guy kind of tones it down to 80, then to about 75. Then the police officer gets behind him and turns his lights on. And the Hellcat guy kind of slows down more, does the brake check. And then he just nails it. And you watch the speedometer on the police car go from 75 to 90 to 100. And it caps out at 130. But by the time the cop hits 130, that Hellcat's already at 160, 170. The Hellcat's gone. It's gone. It's gone. I mean, it was an 8-minute video, and it shows like 5 minutes of this state boy. There's nothing even in front of him. The Hellcat is gone. You can't even see it. Who even knows where the damn thing went? But the police officer's still doing 130 miles an hour for miles and miles and miles down the highway. The highway wasn't that crowded, but the state trooper, I mean, if anybody here has ever driven 130, 150 miles an hour on the open roads, regular roads, public roads, you understand, there's a lot going on very quickly. That's very extremely dangerous. If you wipe your car out at 130, 150 miles an hour in a road and you go off the road, I mean, it can be violent. You can be dead. So anyways, it just shows the state boy just staying at 130 miles an hour for 5 minutes of just going down the highway, looking for this guy in the Hellcat, and he's gone. I mean, that's a 200-mile-an-hour car. So when that guy had a chance to hit some really open area, and it's at nighttime, that guy could be 5 miles up the road over 5 minutes. That guy could be doing 50 to 70 miles an hour faster. Who knows? But anyways, just, and it's really cool to watch those videos. If you ever kind of watch them, it is entertaining. I can say that. But I think for the state police of Arkansas, that's just crazy. You're just crazy. If you're one of those police officers, you get in a crash with another person. I just can't see I wouldn't be. I'm surprised you don't hear more of those accidents happening. But anyway, so the technology for us, more than ever, it's right here in front of us as I talk to you on my YouTube channel, which is pretty cool. But at the same time, they're talking about more than ever on how, the content that we're being fed. They're saying more than ever, the social media, even the YouTube, that the average person spends 4 hours a day of screen time on these devices. Wow. 4 hours. That's beyond believable. The average person. So that means some people are spending 8 to 10 hour, 12 hour plus hours a day. And then you have people, spending an hour, but 4 hours of behind a screen. Now, this isn't talking about something that works. This is talking about people that have addictions. There was a whole article I read about a guy that talks about the addictions. Yeah, anybody watch my channel? Like, yeah, you got an addiction, all right. Where's the car I call it the car, not, Caraholics Anonymous or whatever addictions, if you know what I mean by that. But anyway, he just talks about how, the way we read content and what's fed to us, it triggers our dopamine or whatever, that key ingredient of our that excites your brain. And it's through these devices that we are entertaining ourselves. And it's a huge addiction, whether it be from pornography, whether it be from the social media information you're hearing. And then it goes to the physical side of the drugs and the sex and the foods we eat, the processed foods, on how the companies out there that make these processed foods, they put certain chemicals in the ingredients to get your excitement. And they say that what triggers your, what's it, dopamine? I mean, I may not be pronouncing that right, which, whatever. I think you all get what I'm saying. But we're saying that triggers in your brain the future. It's like it creates the future excitement for you. And that's what drives you to want something and to have something, is it's always about the future. And I've always thought about that. You're always that's why I talk to you about my video a lot, is even for me, I'll get a car and I'll drive for X amount of time, but then I'm looking for the next car. Well, there it is. There's the trigger switch in my brain, because I'm looking for the excitement of getting something new or different. That's what it's all about. Is for me, I get the car, I get the excitement out of me, I have fun with it, and then I become bored with it, and then I'm looking for that next adventure. And that next adventure is what triggers my brain to have that future event where I get something. And that's, that's what creates addiction. So I'm no idiot as an individual to not know that that's my challenge. We all have challenges in life. It just depends what your challenge is, and that's mine. And I would be lying to anybody if I said, no, I don't have, no, that's my challenge. And I've been fortunate to be able to have a lifestyle where I can play with this. Does it last forever? It doesn't last forever. And I have goals and ideas of how things start to play out. And, this year here, I'm still kind of on the goal side, I don't know. It's the market. The market's right, and I can cash out of some things. I definitely downsize and cash out of some things. But anyway, just kind of wrapping up from yesterday's, purchase of the Grand Cherokee, all for the wife. That's all about the wife. And I think she's really going to be really happy with that car. I think it's a great investment. Some people are commenting that, you gave up your 4Runner for that, blah, blah, blah. The 4Runner, great vehicle. It's archaic in technology. And I bought it because it's just kind of an interim thing. I thought that would kind of make things work for a while. And just me, the adventure of the Carvana. That was a whole Carvana video. You can go back like a year and a half ago or whatever, and you can see that whole video of me buying that car through Carvana. And then the wife, she's had her fun with it. And even when I came home, she kind of like, you got rid of the 4Runner? I'm like, well, I'm sure this will probably make you happier in the end. This is just much nicer vehicle. So my wife even still here. Can't even tell. She may have already snuck out on me and taken off in the vehicle. So anyways, just the morning conversation, just technology. Haven't been getting too political lately, because there's so much of the political anger out there, and some days I kind of get a little riled up on my own end, just kind of hearing stuff that's going on that I like to convey, but not so much your last few days, just more focused on the car deal. Yeah, that excitement of the car deal, right? The adventure. It's just the adventure. That's what life's all about. Life is all about the adventures, and that's what you see over and over again. Incredibly successful people, they're young, they accomplish so much, but then in the end, do they, can they retain that incredible excitement and accomplishments and not become just Looney Tunes? Yeah, haven't we seen that play out a bunch of times? All right, everybody, thanks again for watching. What am I doing today? Who knows? I've got tons of work to do. I lost yesterday. It was not really yesterday turned into a lot longer day than I really wanted to be, but it all played out for the right reason. Put that to bed, got the wife happy wife, happy life, and got plenty of things to do here business-wise and blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, just stay tuned with me. I can honestly say that most of you would probably be like, yeah, who knows? With this guy here, this guy has some adventure going just like every week of his life. Yeah, right. They've been good ones, yeah, until you start seeing the tow trucks roll up and start take the cars back, right? Do I share those videos one day? Oh, my gosh. dire straits now. I've overextended myself, and hey, there's the repo truck. Hey, the guys are, you have no idea. You have no idea. Back in 2007 and 8, when I went through 2008, what I went through, when the whole country went broke, yeah, I was part of that. I mean, whether it is or not, I was part of that. I saw the guys show up and take my nice cars, and they're all just giggling and laughing their asses off as they drive off my property in incredible, really nice vehicles. SRT 10 Viper truck, black, night edition, just one of a few made. Bye-bye, that was gone. SRT 8 Bumblebee Dodge Charger B5 blue, that was gone. Corvette, Chevy Z06, the C6 generation. So I witnessed Hummer. I wouldn't always these guys come to my property, and they're all just happy as can be that they're seeing me lose this stuff, and they get to drive this stuff out of here. Yeah, I am not lying to you. So I've seen some, I've seen the good and the bad, and yeah, am I a risk taker? Yeah, I sure am. Anyways, would those be entertaining videos to watch that? Yeah, right. Well, I hope I can only hope that isn't my story for the future of my life. But in today's world, things can change rather quickly, as we've seen right in front of our eyes. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. God bless. Stay safe and stay